Batman number 58, which is Tom King and Mikel Janin on the art. So this obviously this was at the start of New York, and actually it's one of these things where I don't necessarily keep up to date with what the next arcs in some books are going to be, especially with Tom King's Batman, where he's going through like, all of these like 3 or 4 issue arcs so constantly. Like I'm not always aware of what the next one's about or what it's centering around. So I'm like, oh, it's a Penguin story. All right, okay, open it up. And this is maybe one of the stories that's tied a bit more directly into the overall Bane plot and where that's maybe going long term. With the overall plan. So this is about how Penguin is in some way involved with Bane, and that the Mr. Freeze trial was in something to do with Bane as well. And Bane seemed to want Mr. Freeze to be convicted, and is not happy that it's not went through.
Probably so we can have a little chat with him.
Very possibly, yeah.
And he's upset that it looks like Bruce Wayne tampered the jury for to help Batman out. That's what the story that they think it is.
Yeah,
which I like, because that's what we were saying. Like, well, he's clearly doing it, but so I like in continuity. That's what it also looks like to the people of Gotham.
Yeah, I mean, we know he just really 12 Angry Men it and succeeded, but yeah, it looks suspicious from the outset. And Penguin's upset. He's mourning. Love of his life.
Yeah, so is this his... We know it's someone close to him, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to step on the reveal that happens midway through. So let me know when we can talk about that. So
we can talk spoilers about the book. We don't have like a spoiler-free section.
No, I know, but so is this supposed to be his daughter?
See, I don't know, because there was a reference to her father at one point, but the dates on the tombstones would kind of go, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, the dates in the tombstones made me think it was his daughter, but the way his guards were saying to Penguin, "Oh, she was one of a kind, boss," it really made me think, no, he just had a much younger wife.
Much younger.
Yeah, much younger.
I mean, it could be. Yeah, it was because I was thinking that it was daughter until it says oh, do you want to invite a family? Her father's been causing some trouble at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not the father.
Exactly.
No.
So, yeah, no, I think it's just a younger wife. I guess
Yeah.
which isn't that unheard of. So.
No.
I guess that's just the case. So he's like, no, we won't kill Bruce Wayne, but we will go after the butler. And we cut to this wonderful image of Alfred polishing the T-Rex teeth upside down, suspended in the air. That man is so dedicated to his job.
I love it. He says because there's been a blood stain there since He calls him Mr. Zoom.
Mr. Zoom, yes.
The fight with Mr. Zoom.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, it was.
Even better, I think, is the next couple of pages when Alfred's predicting everything Bruce is going to say to him over the comms. He's just kind of like guessing. He's not getting it word for word, but he's getting the gist of everything he's saying to him.
Yeah, the point's there.
Down to a T. But the big twist of this issue, though, is we get this sort of cutting back and forth of Alfred investigating a smashed window in the mansion, whilst Batman's working his way to Penguin, and the big twist at the end is that Penguin, there's a sniper on Alfred, and he's ready to go, and when Batman gets to Penguin at the end, Penguin says, right, you got the Wayne Butler and on your sights, and he's like, yes sir. He's like, what do we do? He's like, no, don't take the shot. Instead, shoot the pilot and then shoot yourself. And you just hear bang bang, and then Penguin says to Batman, we need to talk. And this is intriguing to me because it very heavily implies at this point, unless this is all part of some master plan in of itself, that Penguin actually wants to work with Batman in some level and possibly tell him about Bane because of what's went down with his beloved. Whether or not he in some way blames Bane and wants revenge, or he just has a bit of a conscience in some way. I mean, I'm not sure which way it's going yet.
But see, I like to think of it too as like the state that he's at with what had happened. He's feeling like he's above all this, so he's gonna do what he wants to do. Like, he doesn't work for anybody. He's the Penguin. He runs stuff in Gotham City.
Sense.
So, and now this grief with the loss of his wife, we'll just say that he's like, well, no, I'm going to work with Batman, because we're going to,
Yeah,
figure this out.
I mean, you could say his hatred of Bane is more just the idea that
Mhm.
he's living in fear, that that if things don't go Bane's way, there'll be reprisals on him. He's no longer the top dog. Yeah, you could just rather than specific, that Bane had anything to do with the death. It's more just that he's like, no, I don't work for someone. I'm not scared of someone.
Yeah.
So it's like, because I can almost see him selling it to Batman. It's kind of that way. We're like, hey, I'm the enemy, Yeah, sure, I've got my illegal gambling, I've got all this going on, but you can kind of keep me under some level of control. You know how to handle me, but what's going on with Bane is a lot more dangerous and serious. And it also makes me wonder, does he know he's Bruce? There's the whole thing where
Yeah.
he's like, no, he's making it clear we had Alfred in our sights. We could have killed him right now, and then I chose not to while you were here to listen for it. Is that him saying, I know that he's connected to you, now listen, I've made my, I've got your attention, essentially.
Yeah.
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 Potentially.
And I like that, though, because I like that when I thought they were going after Alfred, I was like, oh, no, like,
Not
first
again.
we had Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
No, you can't take out Alfred so soon.
I like that scene with Gordon, by the way. Gordon tried to talk about Dick, and Batman just not having it.
Yeah, I loved there was a cop on the force. He went through it, and it was real hard, but he came back, and your boy's never been afraid to do what's hard. And I love that moment between him. Like, that's the other one we've talked about before, is like, deep down in my head canon, he knows that that's Bruce Wayne, Gordon. So he's just trying to comfort him as a friend. And I like that.
I don't think he needs to in this case, though, because it's not that it's about Dick Grayson, it's about Nightwing, who's connected to Batman.
No, I know, but like on the deeper level, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel it's a little bit more personal.
On that deeper level, yes, that deeper level.
Oh.
Yeah. What do people think of it then? We're talking about what's actually in it. Did people like it?
Yeah, it's a rebound from. I mean, I liked the last issues, but this is more my speed of what King's been doing.
I'm excited that we're getting to like more connections to this Bane thing. Like, okay, so we're getting the idea that he's recruiting more criminals and that Penguin's been in some way recruited but is not very happy about it and is looking to change it in some way. Because when he first walked in the room, I was like, well, why is Batman standing there? In the prison when Penguin goes into, because he's humiliated, he's arrested, he has to get his head shaved, he gets hosed down, and then he goes into Bane's cell / fortress, and it's actually Nightfall Batman who we know was with Bane because we saw him back in that big reveal at the end of 50, but. It took me a second, but I was like, wait, why's Batman? Oh, it's that Batman. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I think this is the most I've liked it in the last good handful of issues. It feels like it's got a direction again. Like, okay, we're moving forward with a plot rather than just dealing with a fallout of some previous things, which I felt had gone on a little bit too long. I mean, the wedding was, 50? This is 58, so this is, 4 months it's been of kind of just, all right, here's some fallout stuff, some of which was better than others. But it's nice to get moving with the plot again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, see, I liked the courtroom stuff, but that was only 3 issues, right?
Yeah, I like the courtroom stuff. Out of all the stuff since 50, the courtroom trio was my
definitely the
favorite.
best,
Yeah. So I'm looking up this poem that went throughout, and it's Shakespeare's The Phoenix and the Turtle, which is about the death of ideal love. So it's about, of course, a phoenix and a turtle. Turtle's a turtle dove, which I have a hard time reading poetry because my mind starts to wander and whatnot.
No, I struggle with poetry too. I can read novels all day, but you stick a page-long poem in front of me and I can struggle.
I think it's even worse because I read this last night when I was tired, and it's one thing reading a poem and it's in it's properly presented. It's another thing where it's in panel by panel, caption by caption, over 4 pages. Where I'm
the one benefit is that it gives you a clear indication of the flow in terms of this is one line, this is this is one segment.
Yeah.
And I like that, but I'm just trying to see how it fits into the story. But now that you can make the conclusions because it's they talk about Phoenix, and that's something that dies and is reborn, you know, and it creates a cycle. And that the fact that if it was in love with a turtle dove, that's destined to die, and the Phoenix, you know, will have to live without it and whatnot. So I got that much, but I'm probably gonna have to read what this poem's actually about, or I can see how it fits in with the story.
Yeah, from what you're saying, it sounds more like it's about Penguin rather than anyone else.
Yeah. So.
I thought it was interesting that it was overlaid over the potential death of Alfred, right? Where it was the idea that, you know, Batman will live on because it's, you know, this legacy, this mantle, even if it's not always Bruce, but you know, the people in his lives, you know, the supporting casts might not always be there. He won't always have an Alfred to rely on.
Much like the story, the fairy tale story from last time. You know, it doesn't surprise me that this probably has like a double meaning where it fits for Penguin, but it also fits for Batman in some way.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting. It was definitely the more awkward part to read, but the art was so pretty that you know, I was carried through the plot of it very, very easily.
That double page spread where he's busting into the Iceberg Lounge where Batman and he's fighting all the Penguin's goons, and the poem. I might not have read the poem because I was just looking at the art. I was like, oh, this is all poem stuff? Okay.
I've been there.
Yeah.
So. It's good week for art.
Oh yeah, Shannon is always a treat. No, I thought it was a solid issue of Batman. I'm excited to be getting back to the Bane stuff and the teases and the idea that Penguin in some capacity wants to work with Batman to take him down. Because I'm curious, you know, when we come to the next issue of Batman, how much has Batman learned? How much, or maybe we'll get the conversation itself, or if it cuts ahead, how much does he know now? What is Penguin outright told him? Does he know about everyone who was in the room at one point? Does he at least know that some people are involved? Like what? How much? I'm just curious. But I'm intrigued. I'm excited. So I guess we'll rate Batman out of 10. Matt, what are you giving it?
Yeah, 8.5. Thoroughly enjoyed this one.
Connor?
It's a solid 7.
I'll go with 8.5. I'll agree with Matt.